Look, the weather, sure, that's the story today. 40,000 of you currently without power, another 40,000 without water. Deliveries severely impacted, as you heard Bernie mention there, and this snow ice warning in effect until about midday tomorrow. Shane McAuliffe is a pig and tillage farmer in County Kerry. Shane, what's the situation where you are today?
Hi Andrea, so I'm just outside Castle Island in County Kerry. Quite bad in the high level areas since Saturday night, Knocknagoshel, Brusna. Power has been out in a lot of areas, and I suppose it was Saturday evening when I saw the shelves getting bare, the panic buying. It kind of reminded me about the importance that farmers play in our society. But since Saturday night, local farmers all out on the road, providing support, giving a helping hand. They've been on the road, pulling people out of ditches. They've been getting essential supplies. I had a young mother on to me only 15 minutes ago. She's running low on food, and I managed to get her in contact with the local farmer who's going to help them get food.
Brilliant.
It's been quite bad. It really has. Our own farms. This morning there was 4 foot of snow. Our staff couldn't get down onto the farm, and we're trying to clear the snow. Another one of our team has spent the morning clearing the main road so we can get the truck out onto the road, so we can get the truck down to Ringaskiddy to bring feed back for our pigs. So it's just been manic, really. But I mean, as farmers, the welfare of our animals comes first, so it's just something that has to be done. But I suppose in times of crisis and need, we can see that in our communities that farmers are really stepping up and they're making a difference. It's really fantastic to see.
Yeah, I saw some of the footage actually, Shane, late Saturday night and early on Sunday morning around Castle Island, and I mean, like, it was just a white blanket everywhere. It was unbelievable to see.
It was, and it still is. We've had some more snow now this morning, and we're just hoping that it will thaw. There's a lot of people still stranded, and again, there's parts where the snow is so deep that the tractors are struggling to get through to people because it's just so deep and so thick.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look, and I know, and I know people are going to come at me for saying this now, right? But yes, people have reason to move, and they might have been getting back to work or travelling or, sick family members or whatever the reason. There did seem to be a lot of cars out and about, though, Shane, I thought, on Sunday, from any of the footage I saw of Castle Island.
There was, and a local woman mentioned to me her husband, he got a man out of his house this morning to go for dialysis, but she also mentioned to me that she met someone yesterday who got stuck, and he was out, he came from Abbeyfield, and he just came to walk his dogs. So there is a bit of that out there, that the people really weren't heeding to the warnings. But of course there are people that really do have to travel, that it's essential for them to travel.
I know, and I get that. You had an orange warning, Shane, wasn't it, in Kerry?
Orange, yes, yeah. So my home is still without power. Cordal, Brusna, still without power. One of our farms last night, we got the ESB crews down to us, and they were absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, a transformer is gone, but the generator is powering the electricity on the farm there. So we still have to bring diesel to keep that generator going until the ESB crews do get back out to that transformer. Okay,
Richard O'Donoghue, Shane, is joining us as well. Richard's an independent TD in Limerick. Just describe the scene there for us in Limerick, Richard, this afternoon.
Well, main roads now are cleared. There's still snow on the side of the roads, but the main roads are clear. But anything off the main roads, a lot of them are unpassable.
Right.
Since 11 o'clock yesterday, we're on the roads, pulling people out of ditches. But if they had issued a red warning for Limerick, we had people that landed in Dublin yesterday and tried to get through Limerick, get to Kerry, and they didn't realise that there was unpassable roads. We have people out since 6 o'clock yesterday morning with no ploughs, trying to get to people. Again, we have an orange warning. I'm self-employed myself, and I told my employees to stay at home this morning. Now, it isn't a red warning, and by right, they should try and make their way to work, but it wasn't safe.
So sorry, so your criticism, Richard, is that there should have been a red warning issued for Limerick, given the extent of the snow?
100%, because then people from outside of Limerick who were passing through Limerick would have known that it was impossible to get through Limerick.
But Richard, there's no way anybody living on this planet could say they didn't know about this warning. We're talking about it since Wednesday. Since I came back to work last Thursday, we're talking about this.
Since 1963, Limerick has not seen 9 and 10 or 11 inches of snow. So you're telling me that you've known about this for weeks, but we've always got snow here.
Yeah.
We might have got 3 or 4 inches, but we've got 11 and 12 inches of snow. Since 1963, that hasn't happened.
No, but
Now,
my
what
point
I'm
is that
saying
for
to
people that were just travelling, for leisure travel on Saturday to Limerick or Sunday, they knew that there was going to be a snow and ice warning. Sure, Met Éireann were flat out talking about it from last Thursday.
They were talking about from last Thursday, but they still could have put a warning out for Limerick and for Kerry. How many people yesterday came on to Limerick, didn't realise from outside other countries that were travelling to holiday spots from outside of this country that landed in Dublin and Shannon, did not know that the roads were impassable. Not only that, how many vulnerable people had been in our area? Last night I drove to up into Ballylanders to collect a woman that was suffering from high blood pressure. They had to go for an appointment this morning at 7 o'clock. If she had known that there was a red warning, she would have made her way to the maternity, and she's now in the maternity.
Right, okay.
But she hadn't been told about a red warning. Now, they've been living in the country for years.
Yeah.
If you're going to give a red warning, people will also, number one, from an insurance point of view, they won't travel.
And what did you say? There was what? How many feet of snow did you say in Limerick over the past 36 hours?
There was a foot of snow in Limerick.
So you feel it should have been. And do you agree with that, Shane?
I do, because, what we've seen is that if we had known there was a red warning, people would be more prepared. Even locally, people would have stocked up on food, well, if they were able to get food from off the shelves. But again, there was people travelling through Castle Island yesterday. People were getting stuck on the N21. It was completely closed for a time. And then they went on Google Maps and looked for side roads, but the side roads were much worse. And then they just all started getting stuck on the side roads.
So you think the warning just wasn't sufficient in Kerry or Limerick?
Yeah,
no,
and we had
it really
special
should have
needs.
been a red warning.
Go on, Richard.
We had people that have houses for special needs, and they were ringing us yesterday to say that if they had known it, they would have stocked up on firing, because all their heating systems were on air-to-water systems. Where they had no ESP in the house, they had no heating system. So that means no electricity, no heating, but they had a fireplace. So we had to get to people yesterday that were looking after elderly, looking after people with special needs in houses, that they had to get firewood to them to keep themselves warm. We had people this morning that said they have no food, no electricity.
Sounds like your own might be gone too by the sounds. Were you there, Richard? Can you hear me all right? We got Richard.
I can hear you now.
Sorry,
fine,
we
yeah?
lost you there for a moment. Just you were on the point of talking about power and connectivity. But anyway, you feel overall this should have been upgraded to red in Limerick over the weekend. And what's the outlook for the next couple of hours, Richard?
Well, at the moment, we are now bringing supplies to a local shop to make sure there's food there in the local shops, because there is nobody delivering to the local shops at the moment unless you're on the main route. They're off the main route, aren't getting food. So that's what we're doing at the moment.
Okay. Sharon is with me too. Sharon, you're in North Tipperary. How are things where you are today?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, look, the roads they're slushy. They are passable. I live out the countryside. With care, they are passable at the moment. We did have quite a bit of snow. But look, you have to make do with what you have, don't you? And just get on with it. Like other countries have this all the time. And, yes, we weren't prepared, I guess. But look, as you said yourself, we did get warnings. We were told about the weather. Maybe it wasn't a red warning, but look, we knew to expect snow. And,
Are you actually stranded at home today? You are?
My children are home from school and my husband is home from work.
Okay.
I wouldn't say we're completely stranded, no. We do have quite a bit of snow, but like I say, the roads they're passable.
Yeah.
Obviously, for safety, the schools are locally closed, and rightly so. My daughter, she's a first-year student in secondary school, so she's doing remote learning from school, video calls,
okay.
and they're getting on with the day's lessons.
Yeah. What about you, Eric? You're a teacher in Limerick. I presume your kids are at home today as well, are they?
Yeah, my kids are at home today an extra day or so onto their Christmas holidays.
Yeah.
So they're delighted.
Sure, they're thrilled.
But then I suppose they're also looking forward to meeting their friends again, so they want to go back to school. They're young, they're still in primary school, so they're not at the teenage years yet where they might rebel a little bit. But they're looking forward to going back to school. But as your other callers have mentioned there, I'm in Limerick City, and Limerick City, the footpaths are in an awful state. The small roads off the main roads are fine, but the small roads and the side roads in the States are not great. They're very slushy, a lot of kind of leftover snow on them, and if the forecast is as predicted and it goes down to -4 and 5 and 6 over the next few days, if that doesn't clear, it could be quite dangerous. So that's where it'd be interesting to see how schools plan for the next couple of days now. I think there are a lot of hope for a thaw this afternoon, but there's no sign of it happening any major detail or any major effect at the moment.
No, it's very likely then the schools will be off for another few days then.
There's definitely a strong possibility of it. Yeah, there's definitely a strong possibility. Like -4 to -6 on Wednesday and Thursday. That's going to be very cold. That's going to be very, very cold.
And chance of freezing, I suppose, in terms of what's already there and what's lying there. Just on the points that were made, Eric, by Shane and Richard a few moments ago, that they felt in Kerry and Limerick it should have been upgraded to a red weather warning over the weekend. Like, from a school's perspective, does that make any difference, whether it's orange or red?
Well, no, it does. It does. If it's red, it's an automatic closure. So if a county is given a red status, you have to be closed. At an orange status, it comes down to the decision of the school management and the board of management. So they can make a decision based on the conditions locally. But I suppose with the amount of snow that fell, like all this part of Ireland, and I think all the way over as far as Carlow, Kilkenny, Wicklow, a pile of snow fell. Richard mentioned there 10, 11 inches. We didn't quite have that in Limerick City, but we had 4 or 5 inches. And I was talking to a friend. Actually, ironically, I'm actually from Castle Island originally. My dad talking to my dad yesterday in Castle Island, same as Shane, and he was telling me how bad it was out the mountains. All of the villages that Shane mentioned there are quite remote, and up in the hills it's bad out there. So I think you're looking at, if the snow doesn't melt, then there's chances that the school grounds are not safe, as in the footpaths, the yards, all that type of stuff, and maybe depending on the build quality, there could be problems with water, frozen pipes and things like that.
Yeah, there's huge problems for schools. I fully accept that. Patrick has got in touch. He says, I live in East Limerick, and I actually took the orange warning to mean don't take unnecessary journeys. Mass was cancelled in Palace Green, he says. We've a foot of snow here at the moment. Teddy is with us on the line. Teddy, what's it like where you are?
So, Kerry, well, it's not too bad now. It's after easy off a bit, but yesterday evening was a terribly frightening day altogether. Malls Gap back to Sneem. We had a good foot of snow on the roads. People getting stuck. Lou Bridge. Kilkenny was unbelievable. I just went into my own village there to the hungry night there, and I met a gentleman coming out getting food, and he was panicking to get home. He came in, and what's happening, people, they come into the villages and stuff and find out they could end up being stuck there. The information given out should have been a bit more stricter, I believe, on warning notices. Like, it should have gone to red, really, when you think now. And like, there's a big freeze on again tonight. What's going to happen tomorrow? It's sitting back and the ditch, people not getting the information out, saying, yeah, you need to do this and that. With power flickering on and off. It was very frightening scenes.
So you agree, Teddy, with Richard and Shane, that you think it should have been upgraded in Kerry then to a red warning over the weekend?
Yeah, 100%, because as I say, it is bringing people out. Like, imagine people coming out, going to the schools and stuff there this morning. And the problem is people getting stuck in the middle of nowhere where they come, the road is grand for a while. Next thing you come around the corner and you're into snow and you're trying to go another bit, and then you end up being stuck. And then you're stuck in there. You'll be like Lou Bridge yesterday. There was cars abandoned on the side of the road and everything. It was frightening scene.
Yeah, but like, even with the orange warnings that were forecast and Met Éireann talk, I mean, they weren't even calling it an orange. Weren't they calling it a severe or a weather event or something? That's some other new term they were using. Because I saw people actually being critical of that on X or on Twitter over the weekend too. But do you think people would pay more heed to the red warning if they'd have heard that on Saturday or Sunday?
Definitely. Like, we have to look at the road safety. Okay. Yeah, the road safety issue of all of this, like, and health and safety. And we're talking about, improvements and all of that. Like, the government should have kicked out and saying, look, it's not fit for purpose. People shouldn't be out there. Get them in home and give them. It's better, better to have them with a red warning and they're at home safe rather than be out there. And even
Well,
at
should they be
home being
on?
safe.
I remember many times we've had red warnings, and on this very programme, people are ringing in on the Monday morning complaining that they were given out unnecessarily. Pure panic.
Definitely, and no, just like it was given out to overmind things, but it's to be safe and sorry. But like yesterday, it was falling outside the door in front of people. Like it was in some villages there was nothing. You go to the next village a few miles down the road, and it was covered in snow. It was isolated in places, but where it did hit with snow, it was way more than what was predicted. And we still, we have a situation today now, what it's going to do this evening.
I know.
And tomorrow morning.
And when you look out the window there now, Teddy, was it still snowing where you are?
Just before I came on, I gave an awful white belt of a hailstone shower now this minute. The hills behind the house here now covered in snow. The roads now are starting to thaw away. But, the day is short. It's going to be dark now soon. Temperatures are dropping that bit. If we do get a freeze this evening, which they're predicting on Wednesday, it's going to be fair fun out there, I'll tell you that much. And schools, there's this issue going on with schools. They lose a day, they have to make up a day and all that. And the government have to sort this out and to come out and tidy up this issue about schools. Don't take chances. If they have to take a day off, so be it. And do the day
should make it up at
whatever.
the end of the term in June or whatever. Martin is on the line, Teddy, as well. Martin, why did you get in touch?
I heard you talking about mentioning people that had heat pumps, no heat in their house, no electricity or nothing. Like, the thing with heat pumps, in theory, they're a great idea, but in practice, when you most need them, that's when they're the less efficient in this type of weather.
Really?
Once it goes below -3, the efficiency of the heat pump goes way, way down. And if you get a long spell of cold weather like this, that's going to be freezing and snowing and all that, especially if the heat pump itself is exposed to the direction the snow is falling all around it and that, what happens is the pump automatically would switch itself over. Instead of putting heat into your house, it can take heat out from the house to stop the unit from freezing up.
So what should people do? Because I'm sure all of the new houses, Martin, have those now, don't they?
Oh, but that's
the air to water heat thing.
That's the new thinking now, and the greens and all this stuff. Every house should have, and like in Kilkenny now, there's a lot of new houses being built, but the underfloor heating is not being used anymore. They're just putting in radiators.
So what should people do that have, that if you're in Limerick or Castle Island or any part of Kerry today, or you're in North Tipperary there like Sharon, and you have the air to water heat pump, and you're looking at what, minus conditions again over the next 24 hours, what should they do, Martin?
Like you said, go back to when 2010 when we had the big freeze, went on for nearly 2 weeks, -16. Anyone with air to water will have no heat whatsoever in their house. Not a hope. Even if you have electricity, the heat pump will not work. End of story.
Sure, I did a course no backup.
I did air to water course there a few months ago, and even the man that was giving us the course, a 5-day course, he even said the ideal scenario is to have a hybrid system where you have either an oil boiler or a gas boiler backup, so that when it gets really weather like this, then the oil boiler fires up or your gas boiler, that heats your house, then you get the boiler weather back again, heat pump takes over. That's the proper way to do it.
And for people that can't get the hybrid system sorted today, have you any advice for them?
No, I know that, but that's we should go back to. Everyone should be allowed to have at least one fireplace in the house, small stove. And then if you have no electricity, you light your stove there, heat your house.
Right. Be a conversation for another day, Martin. No, it's an interesting point, and a lot of people getting in touch actually who have that very heating system in their house as well. Why should it go to a red warning, asks this listener. It was all over the news and the weather that it was going to be bad. Should common sense perhaps not prevail? John in Kildare says, this is the boy who cried wolf. They have been saying that there was going to be many warnings given out. There have been many warnings given out that amounted to nothing, that people are now not taking the warning seriously. You see, that is a point, Richard, if you're still with us, Richard O'Donoghue in Limerick. Yeah. Like, that is a point been made by a lot of listeners, that the warnings were there, albeit not read, but people were told not to make.
If there was a red warning given out, if anyone goes out then on a red warning, the responsibility lies back to them that they've done something on a red warning. If you go out on an orange warning, they've been listening to these warnings for a long time, and yellow warnings. But when people hear red, they hear danger, and they make the right choices. And even at the moment, I'm actually travelling on the road now at the moment, and main roads are blocked up because coming towards Charleville because of an accident, again on a snowy road. So at the moment, even a day after the so-called orange warning, there's people stranded in their houses. And what I'm trying to say is they can pinpoint red warning for different parts of the country, knowing the outlook. All they had to do was put in a red warning. If somebody goes out on a red warning after that, then that then goes back on them. On an orange warning, you're supposed to be able to travel. That's why you put your trust in Met Éireann. They should have issued a red warning for Limerick, and people then would have been prepared for it. They're not prepared.
Right, well, this listener here says, I think you should just leave the Met Office alone completely. Sure, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They are doing their best. Andrew says, sorry, I can't agree that anyone can blame the Met Office over this for not getting the orange or red warnings exactly right. Weather does not go by county boundaries. The entire country knew there was going to be bad weather on the way. Orange means bad. Don't travel if you don't have to. If they ignored the orange warning, they'd also ignore the red and then give out about it if the bad weather didn't happen. I cancelled a trip to Galway City on Saturday because of the warnings about the icy roads. It wasn't urgent. And I just stayed at home. Simple as that. Keep your thoughts coming into us. I want to hear, what are the weather conditions like in your area? And do you agree with Richard and Shane there that, you know, maybe some of these weather warnings should have been upgraded? I don't know. 087 1400 106.